She was old, and she was a widow. She and her husband had not had any sons, and now her beloved husband has died, and she is left without anyone to take care of her. She is living off of the last of what they had together. And here she is in the temple to worship her God. Her worship catches the attention of Jesus, and he shares her with us this morning. Good morning and welcome to Thursday's morning devotions. This is June the 18th in the year of our Lord 2020, also known as the Twilight Zone. But I want to take us to the Gospel according to Mark chapter 12, verses 41 through 44. This is the story of the widow and her two mites. Now, you can read the story for yourself. I'm not going to take the time this morning to read it. I just want to focus very briefly today on what this widow did and why it caught God's attention. She is an unsung hero, a nameless, faceless individual who God singled out and said, in effect, "You surprised me. You pleased me greatly." I imagine she would have been terribly embarrassed by all the attention. In the temple, there was a place where you could give your coins, give your money, your alms. And I don't know if we've ever seen these I guess they're hand-blown glass containers. They're big at the bottom, and as the neck goes up, it's been heated, and that neck stretches. And so as you drop a coin in there, it'll kind of jingle all the way down before it hits the bottom. Well, that was very similar to what was found in the temple. And so as the wealthy and the well-to-do came by and they opened up their purse and they dropped their coins in, and you know they dropped them in one at a time so that everyone could listen as they jangled all the way down. And then the next coin, and then the next. And they were loving it. They were doing it all for show. They were giving, which was good. They were obeying God, which was good, but their motive was completely wrong. And they gave and never missed it. Jesus described it by saying they gave out of their abundance. And then here comes the widow when all the big ticket givers have come and gone. And she quietly and almost embarrassed, she drops her 2 pennies in. But Jesus was watching. And as he calls his disciples and tells them about this woman, but listen to what he says. "Assuredly I say to you that this poor widow has put in more than all those who have given to the treasury, for they all put out in their abundance, but she has given out of her poverty. She has put all that she had, her whole livelihood." This widow sacrificed everything for the Lord. And that always catches the eye of God. And it's not something that we do very much today, is it? Sacrifice till it hurts. Sacrifice by its nature is supposed to hurt. If it doesn't hurt, it really isn't a sacrifice, is it? But this woman gave her all. She made for her, the ultimate sacrifice. She gave all that she had to go to God. It was a part of her worship of her God. She knew he was worthy. She believed that you could not outgive God, and she believed that somehow God would take care of her. Those kind of beliefs are needed today in our church, in our society. People who believe that you can't outgive God. People who believe that sacrificial giving is blessed giving. That because you can't outgive God, when you give everything you have, God restores it. Now, please understand, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you give God your entire paycheck this Sunday, having got paid Friday, that God is somehow going to give you back every dollar and cent that you gave him. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am saying is that when you give to God, and especially when you give sacrificially, God takes care of you. God recognizes your gift and he takes care of you. How he does that is usually miraculous. And it's usually something that we're not aware of until hindsight shows it to us. But on this Thursday morning, there is an unknown little widow who gave everything she had, 2 mites, 2 pennies. And God said that she gave more than all those wealthy men combined because she made a sacrifice. Today, will you make a sacrifice for God? I don't know what that will mean for you. But will you make a sacrifice for God today? I hope you have a great Thursday. May the Lord bless us all. See you tomorrow.